What is good, you guys? Welcome back to the Hero Report. Welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the poll that I recently did on Twitter, the Heat season in general, previewing the Lakers game, and some of the things I want to talk about as far as the Heat game. You know, the main story of the game against the Nuggets was obviously the scuffle and all that, but there was basketball that was played, and I do want to talk about, you know, how the Heat ended up losing by such a big margin. So yeah, we're gonna start off with this poll because this is a poll that I did I think last 2 days ago. No, yesterday. I did it yesterday, and the poll that I asked was, if the Heat have one weakness, what is it? I gave y'all 4 options: half court offense, turnovers, guard defense, and bench scoring minus Tyler. So 45% of you guys picked half court offense, 27% of you guys picked turnovers, 9% of you guys picked guard defense, and 18% of you guys picked bench scoring minus Tyler. We had 11 votes, which is a pretty decent sample size, I think. But let's get those votes up to probably 15, 20 next time we do a poll, man. We're shooting for that, especially because we got about 45, 50 followers on Twitter already. So, if I was going to put a 5th option, I really wanted to put 3-point defense because I kind of forgot about that while I was making this poll, but I realized after. And I think some of you guys might have picked 3-point defense because we have been giving up a lot of open threes, which is something I do want to talk about. But it's interesting that a lot of you guys picked half court offense. It's something that probably if I voted, I would have probably picked this as well. The Heat's offense is ranked. Well, before the Nuggets game, it was the 2nd best in the NBA, which is very weird to me because I don't think we have been, you know, I guess in some moments we have been clicking on all cylinders, but not consistently. And I think majority of our offensive productivity comes from our transition offense rather than our half court offense, because we usually rely on our defense to get stops and then push the pace after our defense gets a stop, rather than, you know, isolation buckets or half court offensive sets and stuff like that. Like, we don't really rely on those as much. The thing that I've noticed about the Heat's offense is that the Miami Heat not necessarily, you know, this is not necessarily, you know, causation, but something that I've noticed is that when the Heat take more 2s than 3s, they usually end up winning games. And games that the Heat have attempted lesser 3s, they have won, which means, you know, in games that they've got to the basket, they have won. And the matchup against Denver was not a good one because they were the 2nd best defense in the NBA. I'm pretty sure they were top 3 in paint defense in the NBA before we played them. They're very good at protecting the rim. Jokic is a very underrated defender. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. He's a very good paint deterrent. Obviously, when he gets switched onto a guard or something like that, he can get blown by. But as far as big to big defender, Jokic is not bad. He's average or even above average. And he is actually, I'm pretty sure, top 5 in defensive rating, which tells you how good of a defensive season he's having right now. So the half-court offense was very, very shaky against the Nuggets, and I think that's why a lot of you guys picked this, because it was fresh on your mind how we were not able to score the ball. And I think a big reason for this is, like I said, we were not really able to get to the rim at will. It was a lot of, you know, tough shots, a lot of overpassing, as this has been a problem with our team, man. A lot of people, when they get into positions to shoot the ball, they try to pass it. Bam again. He's done this a couple times this season against the Celtics and against the Nuggets, where, you know, he hasn't really looked to, you know, be aggressive with his shots. He's tried to get other people involved, which I respect. But, you know, when you're down by a lot and when you're a max player, at some point you have to put the team on your back. And Jimmy did that, but he can't do it alone. You know, when he's on the bench, another guy has to step up, and it did not help with Bam, Kyle, and PJ combining for, I think, 16 points. Kyle had 0, PJ had 6, and I think Bam had 10. Duncan Robinson, I'm pretty sure, had 13 points, 2nd leading scorer on the team, and for some reason, he was getting a lot of heat on Twitter. I have no clue why. Duncan Robinson obviously has missed some 3-point shots. I'm not going to act like he's been perfect from 3, but man, I'm not mad at Duncan because I know those shots are going to fall. I know they're going to fall. I have the utmost confidence. Duncan Robinson has shown us for 2 years that he's one of the best shooters in the world. And I don't want people looking at a 10-game sample size of him not shooting the ball well, which, may I remind you guys, he's been shooting 40% from 3 in his last 5 games. And that should not sway your opinion that he's lost his shooting ability. And he hasn't, because like I said, he's been shooting 40% from 3 in his last 5 games. I thought he had a pretty decent game. He hit some big shots. As far as, you know, in the early periods, he hit 2 threes, and then he hit a 3 off and 1 when he got a block off Jokic at the other end. Like he's not the reason we lost. He's not the reason we lost that game. You know, I just want him to keep shooting the ball. I do not understand how there's a lot of people that I saw on Twitter saying, why is Duncan shooting the ball so much? If he's open, you want him to shoot the ball because he's a shooter. Otherwise, you kind of just lose the value of Duncan Robinson. We're paying him $90 million to shoot the ball. And if he stops shooting the ball, then what is he out there for? Because he's not really doing much on the defensive end. He's a pretty good off-ball defender, but on-ball defense, we'll get to that. I don't think he's improved that much on the ball. And he's not, you know, ball handler, playmaker. He's not any of that. He's just there for his shooting presence, and he's there to shoot the ball. And if he loses that ability, or if he stops shooting the ball, then it's kind of like the defense doesn't have to worry about him. Right now, you know, just having Duncan Robinson out there, even though he's not making shots, it's just helpful to our offense because people still have to respect his shot, even if he's not making them at the moment, which he is. Like I said, 40% from 3 in his last 5 games is no joke. He's not the problem. He's definitely not the problem. That's just what I want to say right off the bat. Turnovers, 27%. I can understand that for sure. You know, turnovers has been a big issue. Lowry, his full court passes sometimes have not, you know, paid off. A lot of teams have scouted that. They know it's coming. He's telegraphed a lot of passes. I think he has to mix it up a little bit. I think Lowry has to start scoring the ball, man. I think the playmaking was cool, and it is cool. It's a very, very important dynamic to this team because we haven't really had that before since a guy like Tim Hardaway was here, or since like LeBron was the point guard or something like that. But Kyle Lowry is a guy that, you know, he brings a different dynamic to this team as far as, you know, pushing the pace, tempo, defensive awareness, playmaking. But, you know, he's a guy who can still score the ball. You know, let's not act like Kyle Lowry is all of a sudden, you know, Compazzo or Ricky Rubio, or a guy who's just strictly a playmaker. And I know Ricky Rubio just dropped 37, but let's not act like Kyle Lowry can't score the ball either. Like, Kyle Lowry's a very good scorer. He just has to take shots as well. We need him to take shots. We need Bam to take shots. Jimmy has been getting to the line. He had 31. He had a great game. I think he's playing well. He's playing really well. But it just has to be the other guys, Bam and Kyle. You know, I know Kyle wants to set up his guys, Bam and all those guys, but at some point we just gotta have y'all taking shots, man, because, you know, you guys are there, you know, our max players for a reason. You, Jimmy, and Bam are our 3 highest paid players, and you guys have to shoot the ball. So the turnovers, it just comes from a lot of overpassing, telegraph passing, lazy passing. I think we'll get that cleaned up once we gel more as a unit. Guard defense, the reason I put this as an option is because I know a lot of you guys did not pick this because of Kyle Lowry's addition, but Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson are still getting blown by a lot this season, and it's not like a major concern because you still have guys, you know, who are down there protecting the paint. But I think that especially in the Nuggets game, it was more energy than anything. And, you know, we all know that a team is going to go at either Tyler or Duncan in the starting lineup. I will say that both of them have improved a lot since their rookie years, but it's still not at the level that, you know, I would like it to be. And I'm pretty sure they would like it to be as well. I'm not a coach or anything, but, you know, if I'm going out there as an opposing team, and if Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson is on the court, I'm attacking them as fast as possible. And you know, I probably should. I didn't want to put defense in general because I thought that would be a pretty stupid answer choice because we have been one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. But I think we have to specify defense. You know, as far as defense is concerned, we are very good at forcing turnovers. We are very good at protecting the paint. But what I forgot to add, like I said in the beginning of the video, was 3-point defense. A lot of teams penetrate, are very good at dribble penetration in the paint, and are adept at kicking out for shots. You know, we saw Jokic finding a lot of his guys off dribble penetration or off, you know, screen and rolls or double teams and stuff like that the Heat threw at him. And this is what I said in the Mavericks preview. We have to be able to figure out what we want to do. You know, do we want to send double teams and stunts and traps at the opposing team's playmaking threat, or do we want to just let them beat us one-on-one? And stick tight to the shooters. And I think we should do the second option, but Spo is rolling with the first option. We'll see how that turns out. I'm not saying like I said, there's no way I know more than Spo. Spo is the best coach in the NBA in my opinion, but in my humble opinion, I think that the better option is to stick tight with the shooters and let Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, let them beat us, because you're not going to stop them. Even with the double team, they're still too good where they can find, other guys open on the court. Will Barton hit so many open threes against us. Monte Morris hit a couple of threes. Even off the bench, you had guys like Austin Rivers and PJ Dozier who contributed as well. And this team was not even with Jamal Murray or Michael Porter Jr. So this team, did give us fits on the three-point defense, because we were not able to close out properly because we sent too many bodies at Jokic, or we switched, overly switched or overly doubled. I like what we did in the second half of the Mavericks game, where we kind of just trapped and stunted rather than flat out doubled, because I think that when you double, your rotations have to be spot on. If your rotations are not spot on, they're gonna pick off the open passes. Like guys like Nikola Jokic and Luka Doncic are too good not to capitalize on an open man. So when you double team a guy like that, you have to make sure that your rotations to the open shooters are absolutely spot on. And let's be honest, nobody's perfect, and as good as the Heat defenders are, there's going to be lapses in that area. So that's just what I want to clear up as far as that is concerned. The last option was the bench scoring minus Tyler. This is an option because if Tyler Hero is not really going off or doing his thing, scoring 20 plus a game, there's really no one else on the second unit who's really a scoring threat. Max Strus is a capable shooter, but he's not a guy that can create his own shot. Markieff Morris, at times, we have gotten him the ball in the low post area. I think we've used Morris really, really well. The Lakers and other teams he's been on have just used him as a three-point shooter, but I like how we've given him the ball in the mid post area, let him, use his face-up skills, turnaround skills, backing people down with his strength and all that. But he is not like some prolific scorer either. Caleb Martin, neither is he. Dwayne Dedmon, he is not either. Like, I just think that this team lacks scoring off the bench if Tyler is not, scoring 15 to 20 a game. And like I said about the defense, nobody is perfect, and you cannot rely on Tyler to do this night in, night out, because he's going to have some off nights. So some people are going to have to step up. And I think this will be assisted a lot when Victor comes back, because he's going to provide a spark plug with the second unit as well. And who knows, he might start and Duncan might come off the bench. We'll see if that happens, but I think Duncan will start. I think Spo knows that Duncan just means a lot to our team. I don't think Spo will bench Duncan at all. I think that Duncan Robinson, every game he's played in a Heat uniform, after he was a full-time member of the Heat and not a two-way player, he started. So I don't think Spoelstra is going to bring him off the bench. So I think with Victor Oladipo and Tyler Hero off the bench, you have the bench scoring. But as far as, filling the void till then, we need other guys to step up is my main point as far as that answer is concerned. And that is the poll. I'm just going to quickly preview this Lakers game tonight. It's at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 Central, wherever you are. I think 7 Pacific or whatever. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really, really interesting. The Lakers are obviously, the Lakers, I was going to say they're one of the premier teams in the NBA, but they haven't been playing like it. They're a good team. They're obviously a very talented team with guys that can, hurt us. Russell Westbrook on any given night can go off. Anthony Davis can go off. Carmelo Anthony has been playing his mind out. LeBron James is not there, but they still have guys, capable guys. Malik Monk, we Heat fans, we all know about Malik Monk and what he's done to our team in the past. They have guys, they have weapons. I know the Lakers have been a butt of a lot of jokes because they haven't been playing the best basketball recently, but man, they can hurt us. They can definitely hurt us. They have shooters in Malik Monk. They have guys like Austin Reeves, Wayne Ellington. Those three guys can definitely shoot the ball. Carmelo Anthony is a shooting threat as well. Those four are their shooters. Apart from that, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis are going to try to get in the paint. Anthony Davis will also take some mid-range jump shots. And we all know what guys like DeAndre Jordan and Dwight Howard are there to do. Avery Bradley and Kent Bazemore are defensive guys who can't shoot the ball as well. But this team, I've watched a lot of Lakers games because I've been interested to see how they play. This team is not the most well executed team offensively, and sometimes late game defensively. This team can be got at by a disciplined team. The thing about the Lakers is that they have a lot of talent, but I think they haven't really figured out how to use all of that at once. Figured out their best lineups. I still think their best lineup is with Anthony Davis at the 5, but Frank Vogel thinks otherwise. They still have a guy like Rajon Rondo who can play make as well off the bench. He kind of just killed us in the finals. But I think the thing about the Lakers is that in their late game situations, it's a lot of just standing around and watching. And this plays perfectly, in a team like the Heat's hands, because a team that is very isolation heavy like the Lakers without LeBron James, and even with LeBron James, they haven't been the most, they haven't been a team that's cutting and moving off the ball. Russell Westbrook, when he does not have the ball, is just standing there. And that's the problem with acquiring a guy like Russell Westbrook, is that he hasn't been without the ball in his career. With Kevin Durant, they shared the ball, but Kevin Durant can play off the ball. Russell Westbrook cannot. In LA, LeBron James and Russell Westbrook both need the ball in their hands. And even without LeBron, if the ball is in Anthony Davis's hands, Russell Westbrook is just standing there. Carmelo Anthony is just standing there. Whoever else is on the court is just standing there, because they don't have people who cut. They don't have people who move, who set screens off the ball and stuff like that. It's very, very stagnant. It's a lot of relying on individual talent rather than a system that can help you win games, night in, night out. And that's what Frank Vogel will have to figure out for the playoffs. And I think the Heat can get at this team. They're very dangerous on paper, but as far as how they play, a disciplined team like Miami, a well-coached team like Miami can really, really hurt the Lakers. So I expect us to win this game, especially after what happened against the Nuggets. The team is going to be fired up. I think one positive that came out from the Jokic situation was the fact that a lot of the guys are going to be fired up now. They're not going to, play relaxed. They're going to play hungry. Lowry, after he had a bad game, I expect him to bounce back, especially against the Lakers. Kyle Lowry, if you watched him with the Raptors, he's been really, really good against the Lakers. So I think he'll have a great game as well. So I think this game will be good. I think this game will be really, really good. I'm super excited for it. And I think, that's where we're going to end the video. It was a pretty long one, but I think I covered a lot of information that you guys can, take in. So let me know if you guys enjoyed the video. And enjoy the game. I'll see you guys later as always. Have a nice day. Peace.